This is how I built a 6-figure cybersecurity side hustle while I was working my full-time 9-to-5 job, and how you can do the same. Personally, I think that the best job security is having multiple sources of income on top of your 9-to-5 job, and this is a really good way to do it by using your technical cyber skills. So the first thing you should do is to pick a profitable niche or income stream. Now, I recently shared a video on the top 7 or so cybersecurity side hustles that you can choose from. I'll put the full list of side hustles from that video on the screen just to make it easier. Things like consulting, bug bounty hunting, content creation, or even selling digital courses or digital products. And personally, I've tried all of these, so my recommendation is to pick the top ones that you're most interested in trying, for example, consulting or bug bounty hunting, and then going from there to find your clients, the different platforms that you might need. And it's all going to look a little bit different depending on what you choose. So I'm going to use tech content creation as an example of this because this was my biggest stream of income while I was working my 9-to-5 job. And in fact, tech content creation actually made more than my 9-to-5 job, which absolutely blew my mind. But after you choose these specific niches or areas that you want to start with first, how do you know how much to charge your clients? How do you know how much to charge for a brand deal? How do you know how much to charge for a course or a one-on-one? Now this, I do think in the beginning, is pretty much doing things for free or for very little cost, because for example, you might be wanting to do 1 or 2 client calls or consultations or brand partnerships for free just to get that experience and also to potentially get some testimonials or customer reviews. So frankly, in the beginning, it really isn't about the money yet because you're just getting started, and your main goal is to give as much value as possible to the people and the clients who are taking a chance on you right in the beginning, which is also why this is a side hustle. There's no necessarily guaranteed incomes right now. So in the beginning, I do think that doing some free work or very low cost work is completely okay and normal, and that is something to note. But of course, once you get some experience, that is when you start thinking about, how much should I actually charge? So for content creators, this is actually pretty simple because there are kind of base rates that you would typically expect. For example, if you're a content creator, then the base rate equation is typically, especially when you're starting out, about $100 for every 10,000 followers for sponsorship rates. But this is very, very bare minimum basics. I know a lot of creators who make a lot more than that, and it really does depend also on your niche. So if you have a very technical niche or if you're in the finance niche, then sponsorships in those areas will pay a lot more than something in just, lifestyle or vlogging. Those are very different niches. And then if you're charging an hourly rate for tech consulting or doing one-on-one calls, then this is essentially just how much you want to get paid by the hour. Obviously, if you're already working in tech, then generally your hourly rate is probably relatively high compared to, the median average salary in the US. And this will also depend on your years of experience. For example, if you have 1 to 2 years of experience compared to 10 to 20 years of experience, and you're doing cybersecurity consulting, those rates could be, $20 an hour to $100, $150 an hour. It's going to look completely different for everyone based on your experience. But I would just say, do some market research on a typical consultant in the specific area or niche that you're wanting to work in, and then maybe go slightly lower than market rate just so you can get those first few customers in. And then once, they're your clients and they trust you and you've worked with them for a longer period of time and really grew that relationship, that's when you can start increasing your rates and negotiating for better pay. So in the beginning, side hustle income really starts out way down here at the bottom, and then over time you'll get more leverage and then be able to increase your income. And my favorite thing about that is the fact that it's scalable, and also the work you put in is the amount or the money that you get out of it. So at your 9-to-5, if you're working 40 hours a week versus 80 hours a week, it doesn't really make a difference in terms of salary because you always make the same amount. Obviously, it will be different if you get paid overtime, but most salary employees do not. But when it comes to your side hustle, if you're putting in the extra hours working for a client, then you're charging them those extra hours of work as well. Or if you're a tech content creator, then over time, as the quality of your work gets better and your audience grows, then a sponsorship can pay you 5x, 10x what they used to pay you as a smaller creator. And over time, it kind of just snowballs from there. So to be completely realistic, I personally wouldn't set any income goals in the beginning because honestly, there are some months in the beginning where I started out making $0 a month, and then a few months where I made 4 figures and then 5 figures. And that's another thing about having a side hustle like this, especially if it's something that you plan on taking full time. There's no guaranteed income, period. There's no steady paycheck. You're not going to be, guaranteed an income for a certain month. There's always going to be ups and downs. And that is a whole nother conversation around, the personal finance and being able to manage your money well. But personally, since we're just talking about, starting your side hustle and just in the beginning, your main goal is to get the experience first for the first few months. And then after that, you get some testimonials. You hopefully have some loyal customers and clients who trust you, or you're slowly building an audience and finding the people who connect with what you're creating. But if you guys have questions about that, let me know. I would love love to answer in the comments. The second thing you should do is validate the market demand. For example, there are hundreds, thousands of tech content creators out there, but could you niche down a little bit? Specifically, let's say if you worked in a red team, there are a lot of people who are only interested specifically in ethical hacking. So could you become, for example, a tech content creator specifically talking about ethical hacking, or specifically going through CTFs or capture the flags? Or if you want to go into consulting, could you offer competitive rates for different red team assessments for companies that may not be able to afford a full-on red team themselves, but could hire on a consultant, which would be a great side hustle that you can do on the side. A really good way that I recommend doing this is also looking at LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a really great place where people just generally offer their services and different products that they're selling. And a lot of times I'll see consultants, especially, who are looking for different clients. And it's a bit more professional than just, posting a listing on Fiverr. And typically you get more competitive rates if you post on LinkedIn versus, Fiverr or Upwork or gig platforms. And chances are you probably already have a network on LinkedIn. So if previous coworkers or people in your network are already familiar with you by name, and you make a post saying, hey, I'm starting this consulting business. These are my XYZ offerings, and if you're interested, feel free to get in touch with me. A post just as simple as that is a great way to, get a feel of who might be interested in what you're offering. For example, when I started my YouTube channel, I was creating content on personal finance, careers, living in New York, life as a new grad. I kind of had a bunch of everything on my channel, and over time, when I realized that most people were interested in my cybersecurity content, I basically niched down from there. So in the beginning, it's really good to kind of just throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. And then that's really how you can choose your niche and find your clients more easily, because your audience will basically tell you what they're most interested in. And my biggest recommendation, no matter what side hustle that you want to work on, I'd always recommend you to have some kind of social media presence. I know, not everyone who is interested in bug bounty hunting wants to start posting on Instagram, but it is really important in terms of just getting your name out there, and it could technically also lead to a second career. Content creation in itself is just a full-time job if you're posting daily and, on 3 to 5 different platforms. And not to mention that I will say it's really helpful to find a specific side hustle that has multiple streams of income. For example, if you're just doing bug bounty hunting, that's really just one stream of income, and it can be very sporadic depending on how many bugs you find in the wild. But when it comes to content creation, you have brand sponsorships, you have affiliate links. You could also do one-on-ones and consulting calls. You have digital products that you can sell. And I will say it's definitely one of the more lucrative paths or side hustles that you can do. But on the flip side, it is also harder to stand out because, like I said, there are so many different tech content creators already. Even in cybersecurity, there are hundreds of content creators. But again, you kind of find your tribe. Our step number 3 is to make sure that you're building your credibility. Since we're building this side hustle off of tangible or technical skills that you already have, because many of you likely already have cybersecurity skills, or you have cybersecurity work experience, or some kind of technical experience on your resume already, it makes it a whole lot easier for you to build credibility because you can point to, let's say, a project portfolio or a personal website where you have your previous experience, or you have your LinkedIn profile that has all the companies that you used to work for. So these are great ways to build credibility. And for example, if you have a service-based business or a consulting-based business, over time, you can ask your clients to give you testimonials and basically just share their experience working with you. This is something that I have given to other companies that I've worked with. I've seen a lot of virtual CISOs who will post kind of like their reviews on their website of companies that have used their services, and that is a really good way to build your own credibility and also have kind of like a network effect. Another way that you can do this is to also go to cybersecurity or tech conferences. This is especially helpful if you're someone who thrives more in an in-person environment over an online environment. I know a lot of cybersecurity professionals who have side hustles on top of their 9-to-5 job who will also go to conferences and be able to network, or even just being in the same rooms as people who might potentially be future clients or could have future referrals for their businesses. And honestly, it really does just take one client, one person to trust you in the beginning, and oftentimes that is going to come from your direct or second or third connections most likely, but that is all you need to hit the ground running. Okay, so after all of this, step number 4 is to adjust your pricing accordingly. So for example, when I started my tech content creation business 7 years ago, it's been a very long time, I could be doing sponsorships that were just a few $100s. That was very normal for my smaller channel with probably a few thousand followers at the time. And nowadays, it could be a few $1,000s because my audience has grown, my channel has grown, my branding is also, I think, a lot better than it was back then when I was, just filming in front of my bed on the floor. So it's definitely very different, and as you grow, you'll also be able to charge more. But also I'd like to mention that this is definitely going to take a lot of hands-on work. If you're someone who does work a 9 to 5 as you're starting this, you can think of getting your side hustle off the ground as another full-time job. When I was working my 9 to 5 while also growing this side hustle, I was probably working around 80 plus hours a week, and a lot of it went down to any free time that I had outside of my 9 to 5 was spent on this side hustle. So in the beginning, you definitely need to expect that this is going to take a lot of time and a lot of kind of finicking around and throwing things at the wall and see what works. But I really truly believe that it is definitely worth it. And I do want to share kind of my background and how I grew this thing from just, a side hustle that I was doing to something that I'm currently doing full time. So I started out in 2019 when I graduated college and started my first cybersecurity job. I've always been curious about creating a YouTube channel, and I just wanted to share some experiences and resources, and I ended up making a cybersecurity video that ended up doing pretty well, I would say, at the time. And I got a lot of questions about how I started my career and what resources I could share. So I basically just made more videos answering those questions from my audience. And that is something in the beginning that I think is truly very important, because that is how your audience finds you. And then from there, as my channel was growing, I'll sometimes have brands reach out and ask for sponsorships. And I would say sponsorships are typically one of the bigger slices of the pie for income streams for content creators. And then maybe I'll create a video on how I studied for the CompTIA Security Plus, and I'll mention that I used these textbooks I bought from Amazon, and I'll link the textbooks directly into the video description, and that could be an affiliate link, which means you get a small percentage kickback. It's not a crazy amount, but it is still something, and voila, that is another stream of income. And then maybe people from your audience will ask you, hey, how can I schedule a one-on-one time? I need some personalized advice from you, kind of like mentorship calls or resume reviews, or even things like interview prep calls or mock interviews for cybersecurity. And having a side hustle grow like this is really just seeing what opportunities are out there and what people are looking for. And I'm so grateful that this was something that I even had the mindset to start out with when I was starting my job, because that was obviously a very busy time in my life, and then COVID hit and everyone went online. And since then, I have gone fully remote, even when I was working my 9 to 5. For example, right now I am currently working out of a hotel room in Toronto, and that is something I could not do if I was working my 9 to 5 role or, in an office somewhere. And that kind of flexibility is something I am truly, truly so grateful for. Nowadays, with the current state of the job market, I wouldn't even say that working in tech is as secure of a job as it used to be even 2 or 3 or 4 years ago. But knowing that you have a 9 to 5, but you also have income from other streams that aren't necessarily dependent on just one employer is really, really helpful. And that honestly is the real job security in 2026. So let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments below about income streams, about side hustles, about tech content creation. This is something that I'm personally very passionate about, on top of all of the cybersecurity content that I currently make. Let me know if this kind of video is interesting to you guys. I know a lot of you guys really like the cybersecurity side hustles video, so hopefully this kind of brings it full circle and answers any questions on the steps that it takes to build something like this out. But another thing to note is that it's really helpful to talk to people who already have the experience that you want. For example, if there's another cybersecurity consultant out there, maybe message them on LinkedIn and ask for a one-on-one, ask for a coffee date. You'd be surprised how many people are willing to share their experience and share their learnings with someone who's interested in doing that. As someone who was starting out 7 years ago, I've talked to so many mentors, so many peers and other creators and cybersecurity business owners, and of course a lot of cybersecurity 9 to 5ers. And then once you actually start making the money and seeing what is actually feasible in terms of income, that's when you can decide, hey, so if I'm trying to make 6 figures, I believe that is about $8,000 something a month. You can basically do the backwards math and say, if I'm making $50 an hour from consulting calls, or if I'm making $1,000 per sponsorship, then how many would I have to do, or how many hours would I have to work to be able to get to the $8,000 something a month, to be able to make 6 figures a year? And then when you think about it that way, it becomes a bit more tangible, especially as you have clients and maybe they refer you, especially as you get the ball rolling. Thank you guys so much for watching. If there's any other video topics you'd be interested in, let me know in the comments as well. Don't forget to also stay connected on LinkedIn, Discord, Instagram, also all linked in my description. If this video was helpful, please like and subscribe, as it really does help out the channel. I post videos bi-weekly, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!